Hello fellow knitters! Today I'm going to give you the ultimate tutorial on how to knit glove fingers. I'm using my Trek gloves as an example. They're knitted with Lang Super Socks Tweed 6-ply in color 26. If you'd like to learn more about the design inspiration behind the Trek gloves, you can check out the separate video linked in the description. Knitting fingers can seem a little bit daunting, but once you understand the structure, it becomes very simple. For glove knitting, we work the fingers in the following order: little finger, then vertical offset between the bases of the fingers, then ring finger, middle, index, and finally thumb. The little finger and ring finger are worked in exactly the same way, and the vertical offset, index finger, and thumb are also worked in the same way. The middle finger is slightly different, but still very similar to the others. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how each finger is constructed and hopefully feel confident to tackle any glove pattern. So this is the stage where we're now ready to start knitting the fingers. The thumb gusset has been shaped and placed on hold, and the glove has been knitted up to the base of the little finger. I increased the thumb gusset using make one L and make one R, so make one left slanting and make one right slanting. I have a separate video tutorial on that if you'd like to see it. This is the right glove, and as I mentioned before, the first finger we'll work is the little finger. We will start by knitting the first few stitches from the beginning of the round, then cast on a few stitches in between for the finger gusset, knit across to the other side, and then continue knitting in a round until you get to the right height, and then shape the top. So I've knitted the first few stitches and placed the rest on the waste yarn. Now I'm going to do a loop cast on for the finger gusset to give the finger some depth. Since we'll be knitting in a round like this, it makes sense to transfer a couple of stitches onto the second needle like this, because having stitches on both sides of the loop cast on makes it more stable. For this pattern, I only need to cast on one stitch using the loop method, but for finer yarns, you may need to cast on more stitches. So to make loop cast on, make a loop like this, and then place it onto the needle and pull. Then knit to the end of the round. I like to knit a couple more stitches on the second needle before switching to the third needle. So this is the little finger section, and we'll continue knitting in a round until we reach the desired length. Once you reach the desired finger length, we shape the top of the finger. You can use a simple knit decrease, which is knit two together or slip slip knit. Depending on how many stitches you have, you can do this over 1 or 2 rounds. I would say 2 rounds maximum, because otherwise the tip of the finger will look a little bit strange. Personally, I like using slip slip knit because it's easier for my hand. And because these double pointed needles have sharp tip on one side, it creates a really neat finish. And this is why I love adding needles. Many of their double pointed needles, including Crazy Trio, have dual tips. So I highly recommend it, and it makes your knitting so much fun. Work the decrease all the way around to the end. If you end with 3 stitches like this, just do slip 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 knit or knit 3 together. Here I have 7 stitches left, so I think that's fine, and I'll break the yarn, thread it through the stitches, and close the top. I love these super cute scissors. All the tools I use will be linked in the description. Cut the yarn, thread it through the loops, and then This is the most satisfying part. Pull to close the hole, and then insert the needle into the center and pull through. Now the little finger is finished. And I think it's quite nice and neat and round, so I'm quite happy with that. Next, we'll work the vertical offset between the little finger and the rest of the fingers. The little finger sits slightly lower than the other fingers, so we need to knit a few rounds to raise the hand to the starting point of the ring finger and the rest of the finger. To do this, we'll place all the stitches from the waste yarn back onto the double-pointed needles. You can spread them over 3 or 4 needles depending on what you prefer. I like to distribute them over 3 needles and then use a 4th to knit. So now I've put all the rested stitches back onto the double-pointed needles, and we're going to work a few rounds before moving on to the rest of the fingers. And here is my tip for knitting glove fingers. Whenever you add a new yarn, leave about 30 cm of tail outside the glove. And you'll see later that this tail is really useful for weaving between the fingers to close up any small holes. So now we're going to knit to the end of the round. For this glove, the remaining fingers will be worked entirely in stockinette stitch, so I'll just knit all the way around. Now we've reached to the end of the round, and if we joined immediately and kept knitting in a round, would create a big hole here, or we haven't taken into account for the little finger gusset. So what we're going to do is to pick up a stitch here to take into account for the finger gusset. For this particular pattern and size, we only need to pick up 1 stitch, but depending on the yarn thickness and glove size, you may need to pick up more. So let me show you closer. This is where we created the loop cast on earlier. So ideally, you pick up a stitch from here, like this. If you need more than 1, pick the stitches up evenly. Pull the yarn tight after picking up the stitch. You'll almost always get a small hole here, but tightening helps to minimize it, and you can close it perfectly after when weaving in the end. Now we're going to join in the round. You just saw me pull the yarn like this, and that's because the join area always has a little bit of looseness, but that long tail we left earlier will help close it neatly later. The important thing is tighten the first stitch on this round to prevent a large hole forming. Now we'll knit a few rounds. Here, I've reached the stitch I picked up, so I'll just knit it normally. And now I'm ready to work the next finger. Next is the ring finger. The ring finger is worked almost exactly the same way as the little finger, so we're going to knit a few stitches for the first half of the finger, place remaining stitches, minus the other side of the ring finger, onto waste yarn, then make a loop cast on to form the base gusset, knit to the end of the round, and join to continue knitting in a round. So for this pattern, we need to knit 8 stitches to start the ring finger, so I'll go ahead and do that. Then I'll place the rest of the stitches, except those needed on the far side of the ring finger, onto the waste yarn. If you find placing stitches on waste yarn a bit cumbersome, you can actually avoid it by using 2 circular needles of the same size, or 1 circular needle plus Addy Crazy Trio, or 1 circular needle plus double-pointed needles. And that way, you can rest the stitches on the circular needle and work the finger with the other needle without transferring to the waste yarn. So I've isolated the ring finger stitches, and since the little finger and ring finger are worked exactly the same way, we'll repeat the same steps. Place a couple of stitches onto the second needle like this. This helps to stabilize the loop cast on. Then make your loop cast on here. Knit a few stitches onto the second needle and then knit to the end of the round. Now the ring finger is fully set up. From here, just knit to the desired height and finish the top exactly the same way as the little finger, by decreasing the stitches and pulling the yarn through to close the tip. So now I finished the ring finger, I'm ready to start the middle finger. The middle finger is worked slightly differently from the little and ring fingers. What we need to do is pick up the first stitches on one side, pick up the last few stitches on the other side, make a loop cast on the left hand side, and then pick up stitches from the base of the ring finger gusset, exactly how we did with the vertical offset. So let's go ahead and do that. For this particular pattern, we're going to place the first 8 stitches onto these double pointed needles. Then we'll place the last 6 stitches onto another double pointed needles. And let's remove this section of the waste yarn now. We'll join the new yarn exactly the same way as before. Leave about 30 cm tail outside the glove, so you can use it later when weaving between the fingers. Now we're going to knit to the end of this needle. But because we're going to make a loop cast on, I'll leave a couple of stitches before the end and move on to the second needle. For this pattern, I only need 1 loop cast on. To stabilize the loop cast on, I'll knit a couple of stitches from the other side onto the second needle, just like this. And then switch to the next needle and knit to the end. Now, just like we did for the vertical offset, we're going to pick up stitches from the ring finger gusset. For this pattern, I need to pick up 2 stitches, so I'll go ahead and do that. And again, keep everything tight around this area to minimize holes. Then continue knitting in a round. Okay, I've now knitted the height I want for the middle finger, and I shaped the top using slip slip knit decrease just like before. And this is the middle finger done. And now we're going to work on the index finger. The index finger is actually quite easy. We're going to put all the remaining stitches back onto the double pointed needles. Pick up 1 or 2 stitches from the middle finger gusset. Join the yarn the same way as before and knit in a round to the desired length and shape the top. This process is exactly the same as the vertical offset and also the same as how we make the thumb. A sharp needle tip is really useful here. If a stitch sinks down like this, just pull it up gently so you can pick it up easily. Now I'll add the yarn the same way. Then knit to the end of the round. And for this pattern, I'll pick up 2 stitches just like before. Pick them up evenly. 1, 2, and continue knitting in a round until the finger reaches the desired length. So now I finished the index finger, and now we're ready to knit the thumb. The thumb is worked exactly the same as the index finger, so I won't repeat all the steps again. You simply put the thumb stitches back onto the double-pointed needles, join the yarn, pick up stitches from the thumb gusset, and pull the yarn tight on the first round, knitting around to the desired length, and shape the top the same way as before. And now I finally finished all the glove fingers. So there you have it. This is how you work the glove fingers. To summarize, little finger and ring finger are worked exactly the same way. After the little finger, we work the vertical offset, which is the same technique used for the index finger and the thumb. The middle finger is worked slightly differently because you pick up gusset stitches on both sides of the finger. And that's all the fingers and thumb. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something and enjoyed the video. And I'll see you again soon, and as always, happy glove knitting!